Cory, what's behind this move? Is it a symbolic move, or is it really going to have an effect on Apple products?
Well, it'll certainly have an effect because it's a big change. I mean, Jony Ive has been the guy at the company for decades now, really at the heart of the design process. So the design process that has created things like the iPod, like the iPhone, like the MacBook Air, and indeed like the Apple Watch. Those are functions of a design team that has been led by Jony Ive, and in all of his peculiarities has led this company to create some of the most beloved products ever that are really focused around the user interface and the design. So with him sort of stepping away or stepping up to be a leader in design, but not actually the practitioner of said design, will certainly mean some changes in Apple products in the future.
Cory, I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about Sir Jony Ive. I know that he loves the design of Dieter Rams. He's the designer for many of those Braun products that people have. He likes his Aston Martin DB9 so much, I think he wrapped it around a tree at one point. Who is Jony Ive? What's he do at Apple?
Well, I mean, he has been the guy that really, when Steve Jobs came back to the company and with Jony Ive, they designed these products together that were really focused around some of the principles that Jobs had talked about for years, but these ideas of simplicity, about functionality, about people knowing how a product works before they've ever used it. And those really meshed well with his own design concepts about sort of simplicity and beauty. One of my favorite things about Jony Ive isn't an Apple product at all, or the Bentley that he rides in down to the Cupertino campus of Apple, but indeed is his work that he did at Pixar. When Steve Jobs didn't like the drawings that were going into this movie WALL-E, Jony Ive got involved and created a new kind of sort of beautiful robot, if you will, that was sort of the heart of that movie. And to me, that encapsulated a lot of the design ideas that we see in Apple products, the beautiful iPod-like robot that is a chief character in that movie.
Yes, we all love WALL-E. So Jony Ive has been there since 1992. What was his relationship like with Steve Jobs?
Supposedly, they were very close, and that they worked very closely together. And I think the expression of design, Steve Jobs famously could be a very difficult guy to work with, but Jobs' expression of design was found in what Jony Ive was bringing to him so often. And that, you know, for the longest time, they talked about, Apple, even in the early days, talked about how the software should be simple, how the icons should be simple, that people should understand what things were and know intuitively how to use those things. But really, in Jony Ive, he found someone who was able not just to design those things himself, but to lead a team to create products that could do incredible things. I mean, let's not forget that the Apple iPhone now has the computing power that a Cray supercomputer had in the 1980s. Yeah. But the operating system has an elegance that allows people to command it without a lot of education on how to do so, and that really is something that comes out of the work that the designers led by Jony Ive.
Yes, the ease of the design, the facility of the design certainly is one thing that really sets all of Jony Ive's designs apart. You know, Cory, I just think it's just beautifully ironic that we are taking this segment to talk about the elegance of Jony Ive's designs when you're standing there in a pale gray jacket with pink stripes.
It's kind of blue, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just sort of an ironic choice for a
approve.
design segment.